The Atom economic zone is coming together faster than one might think. Also, we'll be sharing updates on Osmo 2.0 and the effects of it in today's video. First things first, looking into the markets, we have Bitcoin back above 30,000. In fact, it even went above 31,000. So that is great news to see that Bitcoin has survived the SEC and Gary Gensler FUD and all these kind of regulatory attacks. Also, Ethereum is getting closer to $2,000 right now. And we see our beloved Atom is getting back close towards $10. However, it has lost some ranks, and that's not a good thing, right? We see Monero overtook Atom. True USD that printed $1 billion recently went from a $2 to a $3 billion market cap, and also Bitcoin Cash, which went out of nowhere on this crazy rally, up 85% over the past week. So yeah, a couple of ranks lost for Atom, but still, in my opinion, a lot of upside for Atom. I'm extremely bullish. It's the biggest position also in my portfolio by far. So I think Atom has upside, but you never know how things go, right? Because in the end of the day, people buy cryptocurrencies because of narrative and because of other people buying it, other big institutions, big money coming in, right? And so far we haven't seen that, which at one point it has to come, it has to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. So we have to wait and see. It's extremely speculative, of course, but I'm very confident. Why? Well, because now we have the Atom economic zone narrative, which turns the Cosmos Hub and Atom into a interchain service provider that starts with shared security. And if you're subscribed to the channel for a long time, you knew what's coming. You know what the Atom economic zone is, the flywheel for Atom value accrual. And you also know that this is a game changer for the Cosmos Hub Atom. Also, something that is in the works that I think most people are not really familiar with, which could probably be this final puzzle piece for Atom to truly be on everyone's radar, revamp of the Atom tokenomics, because I think that still keeps a lot of people away, even though the Cosmos Hub, I can show you numbers in a second, has also gone down in inflation and will continue to go down because the staking ratio has been going up. But I think this could be a missing piece, and that's something that's already in works. Like there's already smart people working on ideas to refine the tokenomics. There's also financial incentives through the AADAO grant program. Maybe towards the end of the year, we'll see a revised proposal for refining Atom tokenomics, and then it's up to the community to decide. But yeah, this would be a game changer. But one thing that has hit the news this week is that Neutron, which is the very first Atom-secured consumer chain, secured $10 million in funding, led by Binance Labs, in fact. So this is really, really amazing, especially given what we went through in 2022, right? And earlier this year as well. So raising $10 million in this cruel bear market is not an easy thing, and they can be very, very proud of that. Also, disclosure, I'm not an investor in Neutron. I know some people have speculated that because I made so much content about Neutron, but that's because I'm excited about it, right? I have no financial incentive. Obviously, I have the airdrop that I got, and I hope all of you that are listening and watching right now as well. Other investors include Delphi, Longhash, and Nomad, which I'm surprised to see because I think I don't know what they were up to since the hack, but I guess it's the same Nomad that was affected from this bridge hack. But yeah, so Longhash, I think they're also very legitimate. They have done a lot of like project acceleration, so basically bringing projects from 0 to 1, have been around for many, many years. So yeah, $10 million is a good war chest to have in this market environment. And the reaction of the Neutron token was almost immediate. So it went up to now 38 cents. And yeah, Neutron is just warming up. So you can already see that there's also decent liquidity here on the Atom Neutron pool on Astroport, $14 million, $6 million here. So it's already like over $20 million US in TVL for Neutron. And they're still in the early phases of basically launching and rolling out their product suite. So that's really cool. Updates on Neutron. Another update is really amazing to see. I also made a video about this last week, is that Stride's proposal to become the second consumer chain seems to be passing. So 55% have already voted and 99.86% have voted for yes. So it's going to be extremely hard to turn this into a no. But yeah, Stride is next in line. Once this proposal passes, then there's a period where validators are preparing a rehearsal and all this kind of things. And then the actual launch of Stride on the Cosmos Hub is scheduled for, I think it's July 19th. It mentions that here somewhere, exactly here. So July 19th is where Stride will migrate from an existing Layer 1 blockchain in production into a Cosmos Hub secured Atom Zone, I like to call them, Atom Zone consumer chain, whatever you want to call it. So that's Stride. Very exciting stuff. And they also have a TVL of $30 million, highly successful, market leaders for liquid staking in Cosmos. So that is very exciting. So we have Neutron, which is a Cosmos smart contract platform. We have Stride, which is a liquid staking solution. And now we have potentially third in line, Duality. And Duality is a DEX that aims to maximize the utility of Atom. And that is also the first. Why is that a first? Because it's the very first consumer chain that launches without a native token, which means 100% of all the revenue generated on Duality would go to Atom stakers and validators. And you can read the full proposal here. But in short, that's the revenue model, which states that 100% of the gas fees will go to Atom stakers and validators. Same for the MEV revenue. And yeah, Atom will basically be the default gas token. So this is really cool. Also, LPs will receive 100% of the swap fees. So I think that's really their mantra here, is to be a fully Cosmos Hub owned DEX, which is basically the homecoming of the Gravity DEX, if you remember that, which was a different model, but of course a similar vision, as in the Gravity DEX also didn't have their own token, but it also then spun out, and that's what eventually became Crescent Network. But yeah, Duality is now trying to do this very seriously here, and very also with a coordinated plan also on how to roll out liquidity. So part of that proposal also contains to bootstrap liquidity of 500,000 Atom from the community, which would be owned by the Cosmos Hub chain or Cosmos Hub network. And yeah, that would mean that we have another DEX along with Astroport that just launched a Neutron, and also, yeah, other DEXs in Cosmos, obviously. But I know a lot of people are like, why do we need another DEX? But in my personal view, I think that the race and the competition for the DEX landscape in Cosmos or in crypto in general hasn't even properly begun. Like, the pie is still so small. Like, we need more competition, actually. And Osmo is still by far market leader for DEXs and trading in Cosmos. We'll have the DYDXs going live, same networks going live that will also probably inject a lot of liquidity into the Cosmos. But I think this is good to have also competition on the Cosmos Hub itself, right, with Astroport and Duality. And that's something that I am excited for. I think competition drives innovation. And just think about it. I mean, when I started YouTube, there were already thousands of crypto YouTubers out there, but I still did it, right? And with the time, I found my niche. With the time, I found my rhythm, my value, my community, right? And I think the same is going to happen for DeFi products or for blockchains or for consumer chains. They will, if they have product market fit, they will find their user base and their community. So yeah, that is basically Duality. And if we look also, major news that happened this week was basically Osmo 2.0, which is now implemented. And the majority of it is basically that it's a reduction in the emissions of new Osmo. So you can see here that something has happened. And Osmo inflation went down by a lot. It's now at 11%. And the bigger change here is, in fact, that now staking APR is outpacing inflation. So that wasn't the case before, and probably also one of the reasons why people weren't really keen to hold and stake Osmo is because you lose against inflation, right? And price was just in a free fall. But I feel like, this is no financial advice, I feel like Osmo has found its bottom. Obviously, it can always go further down. And with this, tokenomics upgrade, it probably still takes a few weeks, similarly like every Bitcoin halving, or when EIP 1559 went live, or even Stride's Proposal 8. it still takes a few weeks, I think, for that to be priced in. So Osmo, really bullish on that, and I think it's one of the largest holdings also in my portfolio, and I think one of the most undervalued Cosmos gems right now. Speaking of Cosmos gems, I also, by the way, just made a video about 5 undervalued Cosmos gems or Cosmos diamonds that I think are severely undervalued. You can watch that right here after watching this video. And the last big news, and probably the biggest news of the week in Cosmos, is actually what you can already see here, is that Kava is now bringing native Tether to the Cosmos ecosystem. And there's also a full-on press release from Tether, which explains that they are thrilled to be launching USDT on Kava and basically entering the Cosmos ecosystem. And honestly, I think this is a huge win for Cosmos, for the entire ecosystem. Like, we should all be cheering for this, and Kava is really doing amazing here. And yeah, we can expect USDT to be natively minted on Kava as soon as July 3rd, which is just a few days away. So that is really exciting stuff, big news. And yeah, let me know also your thoughts on Tether and your thoughts on Kava. I think this is exciting. And also, this is now paving the pathway for competition of native asset issuance in Cosmos, with Noble also that's lined up and very close to announce the launch of USDC at a full scope, and also to migrate the Noble chain, which is currently a standalone layer 1 blockchain that's in production, to migrate it also into an ATOM-secured consumer chain. So those plans are still fully intact. And I think also once Noble lands on the Cosmos Hub, potentially after Duality or maybe even before, I don't know. So yeah, Tether is arriving July 3rd on Kava, very exciting stuff. And then probably soon after, we'll also see USDC on Noble. If you're somewhere based in Asia in one of these countries, part of our team is currently in Hong Kong, so that might already be too late. I will be in Singapore on July 4th. Then we will be in Bali for a couple of weeks, actually, throughout the month of July. And after that, late July, we will be in Vietnam. So we'll probably be actually in Ho Chi Minh, maybe also in Hanoi. If you're based in one of these places, let me know, drop me a DM, drop me a message. Be careful with scammers though. Don't text me on Telegram, because there's a lot of impersonators. Better to text me on Twitter. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you everybody for listening and watching. Be good, and I'll see you guys on the next one.